Hi everyone, it's your friendly neighborhood coach. This is a quick video about grief. Sometimes grief is because of the loss of a loved one. Sometimes it's because you're supporting someone who's going through a very difficult time and it just hits you, even though you haven't suffered the loss. You're grieving for your friend or your family. We grieve because of massive changes in the world, our own employment, our relationships. It's not always death. So I just wanted to give a couple tips about grief and how to move through it. Let's go. First of all, it's really important to understand that grief is generally messy. It's not something where we have a finish line or we can say there's a time we're supposed to go through it. It's not linear. You're not going to end up at the end of this saying, oh, I did grief well. There's no right way to grieve. It's tough. There are literal physiological changes going on in your body because of grief. So in this time, it's really important to practice what some people call radical self-compassion. What I mean by that is understanding that because you are going through grief, that you have to be kind to yourself. Some people experience what's called grief brain, where they're more forgetful, they have brain fog, and it's just harder to process things. Your mind is trying to make sense of a very tough situation. So one of the things that you can do to help yourself is lower the bar. Some days when you're grieving, if you got up, took a shower, and ate something, that's actually a lot on your system to do. It's also important that you're able to release the shoulds. So the should might be something like, I should have got over this already, or I should be able to do this even though I'm grieving. Let go of the shoulds if you can. Often grief can even manifest as physical pains, aches, or tiredness. And if you find yourself needing to sleep more than you usually do, it's okay. Here are a couple coping strategies. The first one is called the 15-minute rule. 15-minute rule means if you have something to do, use a timer, set it for 15 minutes, and once that time is done, you're free to stop. You've done something, you can try again later. Another strategy is externalizing the pain. Your grief needs somewhere to go in your body. Whether you go for a walk or you're able to stretch or do some kind of workout, it might help you to feel a little bit of relief from the physical side of the grief. It's also really important to have a designated safe person. A safe person is somebody that you don't have to perform for. You don't have to say why everything is okay. It's okay if you even break down and cry, and that person is just going to be there for you. Even if you just want to sit in silence, just to have their company, that's what a safe person will let you do. If you're supporting other people who are going through grief, try to avoid something that's very common, which is, let me know if you need anything. It puts the onus on the person who has the least energy and is going through the most grief to reach out and plan things. This is not what you want to do. It's okay to send texts like, I'm thinking of you, no need to reply. This lets them know that you're there without having a social obligation for them to perform or to reply to you. Try to make specific offers like, I'm going to the grocery store. What can I drop off for you? This lets them know that you're bringing stuff, but you don't need to stay there. And remember to keep showing up. The reality is that for a lot of people after the funeral, the support disappears. And in the months to 2 months after their person has passed or through the big change that's happened to them, they really are lacking in support. There's less and less support. So checking on them is still important. It's important to understand that grief hits in waves. So sometimes the wave comes in and it's all around you, and other times it just touches you a little bit and leaves. Over time, you learn to manage the grief better and better, but there's no telling that even after years, some people fully feel the grief of the loss that they have been suffering. And my last reminder is that there is no right way to grieve. Doesn't matter, talking to the guys for a second here, if you are a guy and you feel like you have to be big and strong, grief can hit you pretty hard, and all of these things still apply to you. I just thought of something else. There's something called the grief circle, which I learned a long time ago, which is really important. And the idea behind it is when people are grieving, the temptation is, because they're not going to be at their best, to have a regular conversation with them where you complain or you sort of dump in. The person who's closest to the grief gets to dump out, and they get the support coming into them. So the further on the outside you are from the grief is the more it's your job to support, and it's more that it's your job to dump out to someone who's not as close to the grief. And don't be afraid to reach out to a professional, whether it's a grief counselor or a support group. Sometimes friends and family just aren't going to cut it, and you need to talk to other people who are going through it, which is a support group. And typically they're facilitated by a grief counselor, but also a grief counselor is trained to talk to you about what you're going through. I hope this helps. I'm going to post the information that I have probably on my school or also below, just in case you need it. Take care.